welcome to another Musician Reacts. Today we are doing a Patreon request. Today's Patreon is just up here. It's Mike. Thank you, Mike, for your reaction or your reaction request. We're checking out Drums by David, and the song is Emerson, which is a drum composition. Drums by David, he is the drummer for the band formerly known as Emersion, and now Quarter After 3, and we're waiting for the new material to come out from them very soon. As soon as it does, I'll be checking it out. But let's go check out Drums by David. As always, no pausing or talking. This is the moment where I basically watch him and feel completely inadequate as a drummer. But I love watching his playing anyway. Let's feel how bad I feel by the end of it. No pausing, no talking through the video, and I'll share thoughts and feelings at the end. Count it in. 3, 2, 1, go! There we go, Drums by David, and the song is Emerson. Yeah, it's a good track. I liked what he was doing. He plays everything in groups of 2s and 4s, which, yeah, as a drummer is exactly what you would do, unless you're trying to go for some odd time sync changes and try to do things in the groups of 1s, 3s, and 5s, and everything ends up being in like groups of like an 8 or something like that, because the chord progression that he's got in the background is kind of grouped in groups of 4. So he's kind of doing everything in groups, either slower tempo stuff in groups of 2s, and then the faster stuff in groups of 4s, predominantly is what I heard. I like how his drum transitions were all kind of starting off just on that hi-hat. Then he had that nice slower snare, but with a fast kick. And that fast kick is actually quite tricky because you've got quite a lot of fills going in there, and that's carrying a lot. Once the snare kicks in, it's a little bit easier because you can almost rock left and right on the beat. You can watch it in his face. I do the same when you're playing stuff where you're basically mentally following a drum pattern. Some people do it differently. Well, a lot of people do it differently. Some people visualize the attack. Some people listen to it, but you're always basically like almost half a second ahead in your song because you're thinking about your next parts coming up. So what you're actually playing at that exact moment in time, I find that I'm not actually on that. I'm playing it, but I'm actually thinking what the next hit's coming up, and I'm also thinking about where the next change is and what's coming up. And that's why you see drummers kind of doing these weird faces a lot of the time, and they're just kind of, you see drummers quite a lot of the time squinting, not be looking out, because as soon as you start looking out, unless you're into a nice easy groove section, and you start looking out for your drum kit, you kind of forget. You forget what you're following your pattern. You forget what you're doing or what's coming up, and that's where you make mistakes live. And I've done that many times where I've come up and I've messed up a fill, haven't been paying enough attention, I've caught a stick on the inside of a cymbal and lost the stick because I was too busy being cocky and talking to the bass player and pretending to be a rock star and rocking out with them. But a lot of drummers will just be focused behind their kit just on what's going on. I think as you get better as a drummer, you tend to find that you can get away with it a little bit more and not be as much as that. But as I said, I'm not a great drummer. I just play drums, and that's my experience of it. So I liked how it built up. I liked how he did some nice little changes. The only thing I wasn't keen on in the song was how the song ended. I guess it was a dramatic piece, but it just felt... the song felt like it was building and building. Then he went into this kind of chill bit. I was looking at looking at it going, well, there's still a minute of the song left. Maybe he's going to come back with some real intensity at the end and finish on a big flourish. And it just kind of faded off. And it's almost at that point it became a performance piece. But then I think at that point, when you're just doing it from a drum composition, it needs maybe a visual element to add to it. So maybe a storytelling and an animation thing going on. Maybe that would work better at that point, but from just watching a drum performance type bit, I don't know, it lost me at the end there. But his drumming on it was fine. His drumming was very good. What he was trying to do, what he was trying to portray as far as dramatic license, I thought that was good. But the overall composition, I would have kind of maybe liked it to have gone kind of it had a real cool groove to it early on, and then the last bit we were kind of getting this kind of freestyle prog jazz vibe to it, to me, just kind of being very avant-garde, and then nothing. And maybe that's the intention. Maybe that was exactly what they wanted you to feel like, or what he wanted you to feel like with the composition. But not taken away from anything else. He was a great drummer. I really liked it. I love his sound setup. I thought that was really cool. He's got a really good, crisp overall sound from his drum kit. Which, considering they do a lot of their own recordings within the Motion device called After 3, I would expect that anyway. But very well played, thoroughly enjoyable. Now, if you like this video, please do subscribe, click the bell icon, like and share. Remember, always be yourself, unless you can be Batman, and of course be Batman. Take care.